the Caregiver Connection podcast by Best Care, where we dive into new topics each week, drawing inspiration from our insightful and educational blog posts. We're committed to providing valuable information that impacts both home care clients and caregivers. Without further ado, let's jump into this week's episode. 5 benefits of home care for adults with disabilities. For anyone with an adult loved one with disabilities, your number one priority is always their quality of life. It can be hard to consider sharing their care with someone outside of the family, but there are plenty of key benefits of home care for adults with disabilities that can make it a smart choice for families. Let's talk about them. Guaranteed professional care. We know that every parent or family member wants to be there for their loved ones, but sometimes unavoidable things come up. That might be complications in your own health, work commitments, or other children and family members needing your time. There's no shame in acknowledging you can't be everything to everyone. Getting support through home care means that you know they have the best quality of life possible, no matter what else you might have on your plate. Expert insight. Bringing in an experienced professional for in-home care for an adult with disabilities also means that you can benefit from their expert opinion. For example, there are ways to adapt the home to cater for certain physical disabilities that might not occur to anyone except a home care professional. Greater freedom and independence. It might seem counterintuitive at first, but home care for adults with disabilities can actually lead to greater independence for the recipient of care. A caregiver can provide transport, social contact, and take care of domestic tasks that improve the quality of life in the home. Instead of being an invasive presence in the home, as some people fear at first, the majority of recipients of care feel empowered by a qualified caregiver. Tracking degenerative conditions. Many conditions that cause both physical and mental disabilities in adults can become more severe over time. This could mean that different treatment is necessary to make sure that the recipient of care is as comfortable as possible. Having a trained professional regularly in contact with the person means that they can monitor certain symptoms and help provide feedback with doctors and nurses who don't see the individual as often, making sure the level of care they receive is appropriate for their needs. Social companionship. The CDC has stated that loneliness is a serious problem for many adults with existing health conditions and is believed to potentially lead to further health complications, both mental and physical. The benefits of home care are not just limited to the practicalities of domestic and medical care, but also include simple social contact. Caregivers will often play games, spend time with, and otherwise engage with their recipients of care. People can get out of their house with their caregiver and enjoy a more enriching social life overall, helping their mental health remain strong. For more information on how to get started with a PCA for your loved one, why not speak to a member of the Best Care team? We are more than happy to answer any questions you might have about where to begin. If you find this podcast helpful, share this with a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe. Contact us today for expert guidance and support. Visit bestcaremn.com. Thanks for listening to the Caregiver Connection.